everybody, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be reading all of our April book box books. I'm so excited to get started with this one because I think we actually have quite a few that are going to be really good. So if you haven't seen the recent change, I am not including like extraneous book boxes in this or quarterly book boxes in this, primarily just focusing on the monthly boxes that are kind of like more similar. So Illumicrate, young adult and adult Fairyloot, young adult and adult Owlcrate. So that's kind of what we're focusing on this, and then every once in a while I'll throw in a Fairyloot Romantasy, but I've been skipping a lot of those, so don't have a lot of those. But yeah, so for this video, we have these 4 books that we're going to end up reading. We have To Steal a Throne, which is the young adult Owlcrate, Starside, which is the adult Fairyloot, This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me, which is the adult Owlcrate, and Thistlemarsh, which is Illumicrate. I do believe Gravewood also came this month, but I already read it for another video. I think I'm going to put down below what other books came this month. Otherwise, these are the books that we're going to be starting with. I definitely think, oh, what am I going to like? I've heard such good things about This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me. I feel like that's high on my list of thinking I'm going to like, so I'll put that like that. I think Starside is probably what I'm gonna like the least. I haven't read a Gabby Burton yet, so I'm not sure, and I also just don't, it seems like a little bit of a generic fantasy, so I'm not sure how much I'm gonna love this, but this is probably what I'm thinking, the order that I'm gonna like these, with This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me as number 1. Thistlemarsh and To Steal a Throne can be interchangeable. They can be interchangeable, I'm not sure about those two. And then Starside, I almost skipped because I have not enjoyed Alex Astor, but I decided to give her one more shot with this book, so we'll see what ends up happening with that. But I think we're either going to start with Starside or we're going to start with This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me. It's kind of just what mood I'm going to be in. I like starting with a book that I think I'm not going to enjoy the most just because it gets it kind of out of the way. At the same time, I'm a little bit in a reading slump, so I would like to read something I am going to enjoy and not compound the reading slump a little bit. So it's definitely in between This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me and Starside. But that being said, we're going to get right into the vlog, reading all these books. I feel like they all look pretty similar, which is fun. So we got a little bit of a blue theme going on with this video. But yeah, I hope I end up enjoying all of these, and I hope you guys have a fun time watching the video. Let's get into it. We are full steam ahead in this vlog, and we are reading This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me, and I am 50% through this one. This is a weird one. This is a weird one. I have really high expectations for this one. I originally was gonna start with Starside. I was really thinking Starside was where we were gonna start. However, I just wanted to enjoy reading something, and I'm really scared that I'm really gonna hate Starside. Based on how much I despise the writing in Lightlark, I am very nervous about Starside, especially what I've seen so far. It's been very hit or hate. I was gonna say hit or miss, but no, it's like hit or hate. It's 5-star or 1 stars. So, or DNFs. So I wanted to read something that I felt like I had a bigger chance of enjoying, and I'm all over the place with this one. Like, I am feeling very conflicted about this story because I love so much about it, and then I have many problems with other sections of it. So I have absolutely no idea where I'm going to land with this one, but we are following our main character Maggie, which makes sense because the series is called like Maggie the Undying, I think. But this is a portal fantasy. So Maggie is from our world, which is really interesting and kind of jarring at the very beginning when she's talking about like our world stuff, and she's in this very fantasy setting, which I actually really like. That is something I'm very much enjoying, is the setting. Maggie has been transported into this fantasy setting world, and it turns out that it's actually the setting of her favorite book series, but it is a book series that has not been finished yet. Only the first 2 books I think are out, and so she knows like most of the story, but she doesn't know like the rest of the story, which is a very interesting concept with that. So she ends up meeting characters that she recognizes from her book, and she decides to come up with an idea, basically derail what is supposed to happen in this book series because it's very dark, very depressing, many murders, and she wants to avoid that happening. And so it's very fun trying to watch her try to adjust the timeline of events of a book that she knows really well. And so it's really fun watching her meet these characters that she's like known her whole life and like fangirling over them, because there is a bit of humor in this that I actually really appreciate, and I hope that there's more humor in the back half of this, because I feel like the opening was really interesting because she's called Maggie the Undying because she can die and then she comes back to life. That's like the whole point, is if she dies, she comes back to life. She literally can't die. And it's very funny at the opening when that is happening. But I feel like we've gone away from that, and that makes me really sad because that was like part of my favorite thing that was happening. Like I kind of wanted her to go on this montage of like dying over and over and over again and just being like, shit, I messed this up again. I need to go do this now. Like that's kind of what I wanted, and it did not turn into that. It got very serious very quickly. Like there's still quippy things, but I do think we lost a lot of the humor about halfway through this book. Now, the things that I love so far, I love the characters. I love the found family. I love the setting. I love a lot of just moments in this book. I'm enjoying the romance. I think the romance is really, really fun. It is very slow burn, potentially to not really even happening. So I kind of like that. I'm enjoying that. It definitely is focusing on the plot over the romantic interest, but the romantic interest is working very well with the plot. Now, the thing that I'm struggling with. The thing that I am struggling with, and I think it's just like because this is super ambitious. So imagine that you're a college freshman and you walk into your freshman chemistry class and your professor walks in and they start talking and it is absolute gibberish. And you're like, what is actually happening? And turns to the person next to you and they're like, oh no, you're sitting in like the advanced chemistry class, like this is for PhD students, and you realize you got the number wrong on the room. That's kind of what this felt like. It kind of felt like you were a inexperienced person who was being told information that you have no idea what to do with and what it means, but it's supposed to be very important. So you have Maggie who knows everything about this book world, and she is trickling this information to you as the reader, but also dumping it on you at the same time. So she'll be like, okay, let's go do this plot and I'm gonna deal with this thing happening. And you're like, okay, why are we doing this? And then after we do the thing, she then gets everybody together and she's like, let me explain the entire backstory of why we're doing this. And then she name drops like 17 people, talks about different houses and the importance of this connection to this political person, to this sudden person that we're now mentioning for the first time. And you're on page like 10. So it's a lot of just information, like massive information dumps of things that you do not understand, and it's super hard to follow. And the issue that's happening is when you get to a twist in the book, they say, oh, this is that person. You're like, who? Who's the person? So then you have to like flip back through the book and you're like reading through it, because I do have the characters. There's a cast of characters on her website, would highly recommend it. But at the same time, it doesn't tell you everything because some people were left off for very specific reasons. Like they could not be put on the list because then it would spoil things. But then you're like flipping back through to where she mentioned this person one time in a chapter 17 chapters ago. And you're like, what is the importance of this person that I don't know who they are? So then when you figure out who the person is, you're like, okay, their connection to this house, their connection to this person, but it hasn't happened yet. So I'm expecting this to happen here, and then this is going to happen here. But wait a minute, this was changed, so that can't happen. So then this is going to happen. So it's like, it's just very hard to follow. It is so hard to follow at some points. And so that is my biggest hang up of this book, which is so unfortunate because the writing is beautiful, the characters are amazing, the setting is amazing, the actual plot, like when you boil down to the actual plot, it's very interesting. There is just way too much happening at one time, and it's like you're expected to somehow follow this with only a third of the information that you're supposed to have. Okay, so best way I can explain that, but I know it was still all over the place. But yeah, I don't know. This could be anywhere from a 3 to a 5. I don't think it's going to be a 5. I will say, based on me struggling so much with the first half of this, trying to keep up with things, I don't think this can be a 5 at this point. But you never know. I said that with a stage set for villains, so it still could be a 5-star. But I'm thinking it's going to be either a 3.5 or a 4, depending on what direction this takes and how... hopefully if it gets easier to understand. This also definitely feels like a read a second time type of book, and you'll definitely pick up on way more stuff the second time around. So I most likely will end up reading this a second time, but I will probably wait until the second book is almost coming out, because I do think it's going to be a while until the second book comes out. But anyway, that's the update for This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me. I'm going to go continue reading because I do want to know what's happening. Like it's a very fascinating book. Like I'm very fascinated about what's happening right now. So I do want to to read more of this. But anyway, that's the update. I'm gonna let you know when I end up finishing this, potentially tomorrow, because I am very engrossed in this story. I have officially finished This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me, and this was a tough one. This is a tough one because I do think this book gets so much better. Like, it always is good. It's always good with the characters. A bunch of stuff I love about this book, but I do think the back half of the book is where this book really shines, especially with the romance, especially with kind of bringing the plot a little bit more together. I will say I was still confused about some of the twists. I was still confused about some plot points because it did continue to be rather confusing and rather just not explained very well, just because of how the families are done and how the story has been told so far. However, I do think upon a reread, I will do significantly better with that. I think upon a reread, this actually could be a 5-star. I love the characters. I love the characters. There's a twist in this that is just so much fun. Again, it took me a second to actually figure out what was happening during the twist, but I really liked the twist. I absolutely love the main male character. I love him. This is the romance that I've been waiting for. I love how angsty and pining he is, and he doesn't even try to hide it. Like, it's like everybody knows. Everybody knows that he is just pining for this girl. She even knows because he is not subtle about it. Like, he straight up is telling her, he's like, yeah, no, I'm like really into, I'm really into this. I'm like super into this. And I like, though, that she doesn't buy into it because she knows his character from, like, the book. So she's like, I know what you're like, so I'm not convinced. And I think that's a really good way of creating tension without her being like, oh, I don't believe he likes me, when it's, like, really, really obvious. No, like, she's like, yeah, no, I think he likes me, but I think it's for his political gain. I think he likes me for what I can give him. And so I like that. I think that actually worked really, really well in this book. So I think having finished the entire book, I still cannot give it a 5-star because there are still aspects of this book that I was highly confused about when it came to the political stuff. I think upon a second and then a third reread, I would understand everything that's going on. Maybe. I do need to try that out. So I literally cannot give this a 5-star, but I am gonna give it a 4.5. Like, it is as close as possible because I liked everything else. If you take out the stuff, or like stuff was explained better so that it actually was fully understandable and the twist like really hit, this would be a 7-star read. This probably would be my favorite book of the year so far, but because of those little aspects of it, I can't get over it. I can't just vibe with a book. That's just not who I am. I cannot just vibe with it. I have to grasp everything that's happening. So generally I did just vibe with this, but there was that little issue. There was a little issue. So I am giving it a 4.5, which is a great rating. I mean, that is a fantastic rating. Owlcrate Adult is knocking it out of the park right now, because I think they did, well, Graceless Heart was a DNF, but I skipped it. Poet Empress, I did skip their edition, but I gave it a 5-star. So I'm kind of sad that I skipped that one. And then, what was the one from last month? Oh, Mystical Cat Shelter, 5-star, 4.5. They're killing it. I'm just pretending that Graceless Heart didn't exist, especially because I skipped it. Owlcrate Adult, absolutely killing it with the picks so far this year. So I'm really excited to continue reading their picks to see if I'm going to enjoy all of them. Although I think I've skipped some of them. Because I'm trying to be very picky. But anyway, so 4.5, love the characters, love the setting, loved how the story was, loved mostly how the story was told, loved the connections, just needed stuff better explained for the politics. That is that. Then I have a couple of updates. I have quite a few updates actually for you guys. We did move on to Starside. So I kind of figured, again, this was the one I thought I was going to start with because I did think that I had the least likelihood of enjoying this book. And yeah, yeah, I got to 110 pages. And that was mostly by forcing myself to continue reading it. I don't like this. I am DNFing it at 100 pages. It's kind of what I was afraid was going to happen, but I was like, I want to give her one more shot. One more shot. I won't be reading another Alex Astor, though. I really hated Light Lark. I really don't like this. It's the writing. It's the writing. And to be honest, I don't even find the plot, like, super that interesting. But while I was reading the first chapter, I was talking to one of my friends. As I was reading the first chapter, I was talking to one of my friends, and I was restructuring the book. I was restructuring how she wrote things, and I'm not good at that. Like, I'm not a writer. I was not an English major. I'm not great normally at like really pinpointing where stuff like could have been rewritten. It was obvious to me, and that's That's crazy. Like that shouldn't be the case. Like I should not be able to go, oh no, it should be rewritten this way. This should not be the exact same sentence here. And then 3 sentences later, it's again this exact same sentence. And that was what was happening. I was reading this and it was so repetitive. It was very clunky. Things were just not, like my brain was going out of reading mode while reading this. Like it would read a couple paragraphs and then it would kind of like glitch and be like, why is it written like that? Like my brain was literally stopping because of how clunky the writing is. The bad part is I do think this writing is better than Lightlark. Lightlark, I only made it 30, 40 pages before I called it quits and was like legitimately really pissed off about having bought that book and wasting money. This one has a chance. That's the thing. This one, it's not good writing. It's not horrendous like Lightlark was, but it's not good. It feels like a draft. I'm not gonna lie. It definitely feels like a draft. I also don't really like the magic system. I think it's a little bit silly and I just don't really like the plot. I'm not gonna lie. I was really excited about that, but I don't really like the plot, and I think it's because I just don't like how she structures things. So this is following our main character who is entering this super deadly competition so that she can bring magic like back to her community. So that's like the whole point of this world is it's not post-apocalyptic. That's not what it is. It's this kingdom has been stripped of its magic and everybody is suffering except for the king who is hoarding magic to himself. So the royals and the upper class, they're doing great. Everybody else is doing shit. And so you can join this competition. If you win this competition, you get magic from this this other side of things and bring it back. And if you have this magic, it like makes things better. This world is not explained very well. It's not really super explained like why things happen. It's not explained where this magic system came from. It's not explained really who these people are. It's just, nothing is really super explained. And it's very blatant that nothing is explained when you are swapping realms. So this is one of those things where it starts in one realm and we go to like an immortal plane type of area. And the problem is we did not get a great backstory of like the normal realm where we started. So when we move to another realm, it's like, where are we? Like, what is happening? Why is it this way? Why is there an ability to go to this realm? Like, what is the purpose of anything happening in this book? So that sucked. Like, that was not built up in this book at all. And then, like I said, the writing is bad. The writing is bad. It's mostly just like it's just this very staccato writing where it's like, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened, and it makes your brain kind of like glitch, like as you're reading it. And then the other thing that I really didn't, so the writing, there's like, kind of when I knew it was done, it's like chapter 2. I knew when I was done because my brain just like was cracking up. I was cracking up while reading this little part. And it's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be sad. It's supposed to be sad. But like she's talking to this person. I can't say who it is because they die. She's talking to this person and the person is dying in their death throes. So the sentence is, fool, he says, and then he dies. No, like, then the light left his eyes and I felt my chest cave in, my heart breaking. Something more to signify this character's death because it is like a big moment in this book of like her feelings about things, like it comes up later and stuff. So it's not like this big, it's just like he dies. And all my brain could picture was him going, you fool. Like that's just all I'm picturing. So it's just stuff like that. Like it's just not artistic. I feel like that's the thing. Like, I don't want purple prose. I like purple prose sometimes, but I don't need that. I need feeling. That's what it is. This book is missing emotion. It is missing feeling like a person wrote it. It feels like the author was detached from what was happening. So why would I be attached to what is happening? And then everything is super convenient. So she makes 2 friends immediately. Like, she gets through this trial thing and then she gets on the platform and she looks to her left and there's a person there and she goes, hi, I'm so-and-so. And she goes, oh, hi, I'm this person. And it was like, okay. And it's not with like every character that's like introduced. It's like, this person was standing here. So we said hi. It's just, no, no, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. So yeah, I am DNFing it. I really, really, really wanted to read this entire book. I can't do it. So DNFing at about 110, 120 pages. but this is also Alex Astor. It's only 2 books. Normally I give authors 3 books to be on the do not read list, but I could have just done 1. I could have just done Lightlark. I should have known better. But Alex Astor is officially on do not purchase, do not read list because I just don't like how she writes. I don't think she's a good writer, which is like very harsh to say, but her book has like a 4.4. So obviously what I'm saying is really not that important, and her book sales are doing just fine. It's just, she is not for me. And with that DNF, I finally we just started this. Like we're only like less than 30 pages, I think, into To Steal a Throne, and I'm actually really enjoying this one. Thank goodness. That's the funny thing about Starside. I think if This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me was not as good as it was and wasn't as good at explaining things like the setting and the people and emotions and that kind of stuff, I think I could have enjoyed Starside a little bit more, but because I read a book that actually is very well written, then going to Starside wasn't good. It was just more blatantly obvious, the problems with Starside. Luckily, this one, having a very good time with. This is very politics heavy, which I'm really liking. So I don't know too much about this other than what I've read so far, but this is following our main character, who is known as like the Night Queen, I think is what it said. Yeah, I'm like 20 pages into this book. Our main character, Mira, is running the court behind the scenes. So she has basically created this like secrets network where she knows all these secrets about all these council members, and she uses those secrets to change things to the way that her family wants them. So even though she is incredibly powerful, she is basically, unfortunately, like a servant to her family. She doesn't really want to be doing this, but that's all she knows. That's all she has left. So she is using her powers to help her family and kind of control this government. And it's very fun so far. Like I'm liking it. This, I don't know about the vibes of this. This is giving, I'm not gonna lie, this is giving ACOTAR. That is not so far the vibes of the book, but I do see like, I don't know, like it's just not the vibes. I don't know, like for this it just feels, and even the back, it's very ACOTAR feeling, and the book feels more, I actually think the book feels more like this. This is not what the book feels like so far, but obviously that could definitely change. But I'm liking it. I'm liking the politics. I'm liking the main character so far. I'm liking the issues that are going on. So I'm having a good time with this one so far. And I like that it's a little bit shorter. We've been reading some chunky books, and I would like to read something a little bit shorter just to have a little bit fun with it. So we're going to go ahead and continue with To Steal a Throne. I really hope I continue enjoying it because I'm really liking it so far. And then we'll move on to Thistlemarsh, and that's what we have for this video, which is really exciting. So let's go continue To Steal a Throne. I am gonna go eat some lunch and kind of just enjoy reading this one for right now. First of all, I have hiccups, so you may see hiccuping while I'm doing this video, and that's why my eyes are a little red. I hate hiccups, and they last forever. They irritate me so much. So if I have $5 for every time that I said I was loving a book and then came back 50 pages later said that I was not liking it, I would have so much money, so much money, because I don't like this anymore. Oh my gosh, the hiccups need to stop. I don't like this anymore. Unfortunately, this is not working for me. I don't like the turn that we have taken in this story. I'm leaving all of this in. I really enjoyed the beginning when she was kind of like telling everybody what to do. She was the one who's in charge of things, and we were going kind of over her backstory. I don't like the turn that we have taken where our main character is now, I get it. Jeez, that was a rough one. I get it for her character. I get what they're trying to do, but I just don't like it. She is basically playing dumb, playing damsel in distress so that the main love interest is going to try and help her and confide in her, and I'm not enjoying it. And it's like the whole book now, and I'm sure it'll change later, or he might know the whole time, but I just don't care because it's not enjoyable. Oh, that one hurt. It's not enjoyable to read anymore. I'm not liking the political maneuvering anymore that's happening. I'm kind of just bored now and not having fun. Oh, took a breath for that one. I'm just not into this story anymore. It's not like the direction that I thought we were heading in. So unfortunately, I am gonna DNF this one. Do you guys remember when I said I was gonna try and finish like every single book that I got in book? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't want to read this, so I'm not I'm not gonna read it. I'm not interested in it. If it was a standalone, I would probably try finishing it, but it is a series, and so I don't think I'm gonna get to the end of this book and be like, oh my god, I have to read the rest of the series. I just don't see that happening. I am legitimately not enjoying my time anymore reading this, and I don't love the romantic interest. Like I'm totally out. I'm totally out when it comes to the romantic interest and the interactions happening between the two of them. So I'm done. Again, maybe it gets better later, but I'm not willing to continue. I don't think the writing's bad or anything. It's just, I just really don't like the plot and how it's being done. So that's that. I can't believe we're down to one book already. I thought this video was gonna take so much longer, but we are down to Thistlemarsh. So I guess that's what we're gonna, oh my gosh. I guess that's what we're gonna read. I don't have Thistlemarsh in this room with me, but, oh, and I DNF'd to Steal a Throne at 90 pages. Like I actually got pretty far into it. I was reading all this afternoon while I was doing like my injections and stuff like that. So Thistlemarsh is an interesting one because the original cover seems very light fae, very historical fiction, lighter atmosphere, cozy fantasy. And the Illumicrate edition is very dark. It is like dark historical fantasy. And I have heard from people who have read the book that the Illumicrate edition is the one that is more similar to what the book is kind of more like, which I find very interesting. So I'm hoping I like this because I actually do have made a mistake. I do have a second copy of Thistlemarsh coming. I was really excited about, I canceled the subscription. God, this has got to stop. Book in a Box. Book in a Box, I am very excited about that subscription. And I was going to actually make it my new subscription, but it is very expensive. It's very expensive and it's very easy to get books after the fact, like in their shop. So I originally had it as a subscription, bought their July pick, which ended up being Thistlemarsh, so that will be coming at some point, but it's just too expensive to have this as a full subscription like all the time, and I am actually trying to cut down on my subscriptions. Fairyloot Romantasy, looking at you. So I did end up getting one box and then canceling that because I can just pick up editions later if I really want them. So I will be getting Thistlemarsh from Book in a Box, so I'm fingers crossed. I hope I like this book because I was out of my mind because I just really love the artist. Like I was really excited about the artist doing an edition of this. So I was scared of missing it. I didn't realize how easy it was to get their books later. Oh my gosh. Really hoping I like this one, hoping I like the vibes. And we're gonna go now because I can't handle the hiccups. I can't handle the hiccups. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start Thistlemarsh. I really hope I like it better than Starside and To Steal a Throne. I'm really sad. I thought this was gonna be like a really good video, but it's kind of gone downhill very quickly. So I would like to start liking the books that I'm reading again. So let's go read Thistlemarsh. I'll let you know first impressions. So this is really awkward, but I finished it. I know I talked about DNFing it and I had a bunch of issues. I didn't feel right about DNFing this one. I went to my spreadsheet because I do keep a spreadsheet of all my ratings and like DNFing, etc. And I put a 0 in for this because it was a DNF and I didn't like it. It didn't feel right. I didn't think that this deserved a 0. I was like, I'm not hating what's going on. I was just getting really bored with everything. And again, I really do think that your experience with a book can depend on your experience on the book you previously read. So because I just was having an awful time reading Starside, the fact that this one was just like, okay, I really wanted to read something that I wanted to love. Like I really wanted to read something that I was loving, that I was obsessed with, that I didn't want to put down. And I think that's why this one ended up missing even more when I didn't get to a section that I liked. Instead of me pushing through and kind of hoping that it changed, I just kind of gave up on it. And I think that's a really interesting discussion because, again, I think it's very interesting when you read something and it kind of changes how you read your next read. And I really do think that with Starside, it kind of just put me in this impatient mood. So I didn't have the bandwidth to continue with this one, but I started reading Thistlemarsh and I'm actually really loving Thistlemarsh. When I started really liking Thistlemarsh, I was like, let me go back and read a little bit more of To Steal a Throne. Let me read like another 20 to 30 pages and see if this because basically she just, I think I talked about it, but she starts acting dumb. Like, she starts acting dumb to trick somebody, and I didn't like it. I didn't like her interaction with the love interest. It was very insta-lovey feeling, which I do still feel that way somewhat about this book, but it wasn't as egregious as I thought it was, and thank goodness I kept reading because I did end up enjoying the rest of the story. Did I really miss that much finishing this one? No. This is going to get a 3-star. This is a 3-star. It's fine. This is going to be one that I don't know if I'll continue in this series. I don't like this cover, so if I do continue in the series, it will be with the like normal US cover. I don't like the reversible dust jacket that much on this one either, so I probably will end up potentially getting rid of this copy. I'll probably keep it for now, but I really love the original US cover. So if I do decide to continue in the series, it will be with the US covers. I did like what happened. We kind of took a step back from the whole like acting like an idiot to trick this man. It really didn't last that long. Like, it seemed like it was going to last a really, really long time in the book, but it actually was stopped pretty soon after I stopped reading. And I'm so happy I continued with it. So again, is it like a great book? No, it's just fine. Like, it was entertaining for what it was. It's fine. It's a 3-star. This book exists. I would not have been upset that much if I had DNF'd it. I would have been upset for my spreadsheet purposes because a 3-star is way better than a 0. Like, that changes a lot of things on the spreadsheet. And so like, I am happy for that purpose. If I was not rating stuff, I really didn't miss out too much on this. There were like a couple of scenes that I really, really enjoyed, but I don't think I needed to read this book. And again, I don't know if I'm going to continue in this series, but we'll see. So I am giving it a 3-star. I am kind of happy we finished. It's kind of a take it or leave it kind of situation, but for the purposes of this video, I am happy that I finished it. But yeah, so finish this. We're gonna move back to Thistlemarsh. Like I said, I am enjoying Thistlemarsh. It's a very fun vibe of a book. So far, it definitely is very historical fiction, but I'm liking the character already, and I'm liking how it's written. I'm liking the vibe, I'm liking the character, I'm liking how it's written, so I'm interested to continue on with it. It's only been like 30 pages, so I really don't have that much to say about it yet. But anyway, we're gonna go read Thistlemarsh. I like that we only have 1 DNF in this video now. That's very exciting. We have a 4.5, a DNF, and a 3-star. Much better than 2 DNFs. I'm very much happy about that. But yeah, we're just going to continue on trucking along with this video and hopefully get through a chunk of Thistlemarsh today. I am on page 242. I'm way past the 50% mark. I'm about right there. And I changed bookmarks, so there we go. I'm about right there. I'm like just past the 50% mark. I'm loving this book. This is so everything that I wanted. I'm trying to like think of the best way to describe this. So I would say that this is very close to Emily Wilde in the type of relationship and the type of like fae. Personalities are like swapped though. So like the fae is like the grumpy, and our main character is not totally sunshine because she has seen like a lot in her life, but it is closer to like the sunshine character. You have a lot of what Emily Wilde's is, and I think that's why I'm probably enjoying it so much. I really like this type of fae. I like the type of fae that acts generally human, however, they have like fairy quirks, and I really like that. Like, I really like that. I really liked it in Emily Wilde's, and it's kind of very similar here as well. And so I'm just kind of really enjoying my time with this. I wasn't expecting to have almost like, not trials, but they're trying to like unwrap magic from Thistlemarsh, like this house, to be able to like repair it. And you have to like do certain things and like find certain things to make that happen. And it's almost like little mini quests, like mini trials within the book. And I like that. It's also very slice of life feeling. I still don't think it exactly matches like the original cover. The original cover still is a little bit too cozy bright. I do think this is still cozy fantasy. It's just definitely on like the more serious side of cozy fantasy. And I do think that the Illumicrate edition fits it a little bit better. But to be honest, like, I think this actually fits it really well. Thinking about the actual Illumicrate cover, I don't know if the Illumicrate cover fits it either. Like, I feel like I'm more in the in-between. Like, I feel like it needs to be less dark than the Illumicrate cover, because the Illumicrate cover makes me think of horror. And then the normal trade copy needs to be a little bit darker, because this is more like a sadder cozy fantasy. So I just need it like in between that. And I am getting another copy of Thistlemarsh, so I am hoping like I continue really enjoying this. I don't think it's a 5, but it's like a very solid 4-star currently where I'm at. Obviously, the ending of books can really change how I feel about things. So we're gonna see how this ends. I am just really enjoying the story, and I really, really, really like the characters. And again, if you can make me really like characters, it can do a lot for me enjoying a book. So we're gonna continue reading this. I'm liking what we're doing right now. I do kind of want a little more like action, a little more from the book, just a little bit more. Because again, I can kind of see why people don't like this if they didn't like this. It is very slow. It's a very, very slow book, but it is more about the characters than anything else. So this is definitely a character study, not a very plot-driven book. This is really good. This is really good so far. So I'm really excited to see what the Book in a Box edition is, because that is the book that I got from them, is I got an edition of this, and I really liked the artist. So I'm like, okay, I hope it's more what I feel like the vibes of the book are. So, but yeah, we're gonna continue this. I'm probably gonna finish this today, because that's all that I'm doing today is reading this book, because it is Thursday and I'm trying to get this up for Sunday, but I also just don't want to stop reading. So there's that. So I do need to run to the grocery store really fast. I do need to get new omeprazole because I ran out 2 days ago and I keep forgetting to go get it, but I gotta go get that today. And I think that's about it. So we're gonna continue reading Thistlemarsh. I'll let you know when I finish it what my final rating is. I've made it to about 75% in Thistlemarsh, and I wasn't gonna update until the end, but this took a crazy turn. I get the Illumicrate cover. I get why it's so dark. This took a absolute wild turn that I was not expecting from this book. Like I 100% was not expecting this to go the direction that it went, and I have no idea how this is going to end. This could end in so many different ways that I have no idea. I have no idea how this is going to end, and I am flabbergasted and shocked about what just happened. Like, this author got me. This author really, really got me with what just happened. So I'm gonna just continue reading. I'm definitely gonna finish it in like the next 2 hours. And I am fascinated with how this is gonna end. I have officially finished reading Thistlemarsh, and with that, we have officially finished reading all of our April book box books for this video. And we are ending with a 5-star. We are. It's a soft 5-star. It is definitely... And now I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, if this is a 5-star, I feel like This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me also has to be a 5-star. No, because there's like... now I'm struggling. Because sometimes when you like rate stuff, you're like, I don't know why it gets that rating. This is one of those. This is one of those that I'm like, I had some issues with this. I had a couple, like not even that many issues, but I had a couple of problems with this. But I'm still giving it a 5-star because I like the overall story. I love the characters, really the characters. The characters were amazing. I still don't think I can give This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me a 5-star just because of that confusion that book left. So I will leave that as a 4.5. This one is getting a soft 5-star. It probably will not make top 10 of the year, but it may be in honorable mentions. But I really enjoyed this. However, now that I am completely finished the book, I actually don't think either cover works super well. I do think people are gonna have very different reactions to reading this book and like what the cover should look like. I do think this actually is a little too dark for what the book feels like. So I would like a little more color, a little more vibrancy to it, but not as much as the trade cover. I guess the US cover, I don't know what the UK cover looks like if it's the same. But with the US cover, I don't even like the tagline. Like there's a tagline on the book that says the fairies are moving in or something like that. That makes it sound sitcom-y and like funny and cozy whimsical. And it's not that. This book is not whimsical. This is not a cozy book. This is like actually pretty, well, okay, it's dark cozy. I would classify this as grim cozy, where it's still slice of life, almost like you have like this mission, you're kind of slowly going through the process of completing this mission. Stakes are pretty low, like life-wise, but the actual subject material is significantly darker and heavier than like what I would consider normally a cozy fantasy. So I would say this is cozy, but like dark or grim cozy. But I still think this is too dark. Like this reminds me of an Academy for Liars cover, And it's like, this reminds me of a horror or thriller cover, and I don't think, for me, this fits the vibe, and I don't think the US edition fits the vibe either. So I really am now especially curious what the book in a box edition is going to look like, because so far nothing like super is like, I'm looking at this cover and I'm like, that's not the book I just read. Like, this is not the book I just read. I actually feel more connection to like this cover, this like under the dust jacket, than I did with the actual dust jacket. And it's just mostly because this like reminds me of a very specific thing from the book. But yeah, so I am giving it a soft 5-star. I really, really like the characters. I so understand if people don't like this one. This one has at multiple points moments where people might not like it. So first of all, it is slower. It is a slower book. It is less historical than I thought it would be. It definitely started off very historical with talking about the war and stuff. However, it was much less historical than I was expecting, but it is a slower paced book. It is more of a character study than a plot driven type of story. So if you are heavy plot, heavy world building, you might not like this as much, although I think the world building was pretty good. But this is definitely relying on characters and growing in life and that kind of thing, instead of focusing on the plot and that moving it forward. I can see people hating the twist. The twist that I talked about in the last update is insane, and it had the book possibly going in multiple different directions, and there could have been a direction that it went very dark. Like, there is a way that this book could have been very dark, and I think it would have upset a lot of people, and I'm glad it didn't go that direction. I think I would have been okay either way, but I'm happier with the direction that it did go. However, I think because of the twist, some people are really not gonna like the ending, because it comes down to a situation of what type of reader you are in these types of situations. I'm really trying not to give away the ending because it was crazy. I was not expecting that. But it is going to come down to, are you a less forgiving type of person or more realistic to the nature of things that are happening in this book? I feel like that's going to depend on whether you like this book or not. And I like feeling like things are more realistic. And so I actually liked the ending. Although, again, it's going to be controversial. I really do think some people are really, really, really going to hate the ending because of what happened and like what some choices that were made were. So anyway, I am giving it a soft 5-star. That does not mean that you will like it. Like, I know some people, they're like, oh, our taste is really similar. This one, I don't know. Like, I really, really don't know about this one, but I really ended up liking it. I don't know who to recommend this to because of that ending and the twist. But if you're interested in it, I would try it. But I'm not happy with the covers right now. Not happy with the covers. That is this video finished. Let's talk about what we read. And I think this video went really well. I feel like this went really, really well. So we did start with This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me, which we ended up giving a 4.5. If this had been explained a lot better and easier to follow, it would have been an easy 5. I am very excited for sequels. Our side, we did DNF this one. I did try pretty hard. Like, I got to like page, what was that, 100 something? I think about 100 something. It's just not for me. I don't like the writing. I didn't like the plot. I didn't like pretty much anything about this. There's just, when you take all these other books, when you read all these other books and then you have this one, there's just such a clear line of good character development and good plot development and staccato, rushed, convenient development, and that is why I don't like this. I just don't think it's very well written at all. So this was a DNF. Then our surprise book, because I did DNF it and then I changed my mind and finished this one, To Steal a Throne, and I am happy I finished this. I still am unsure whether I'm going to continue in the series or not. This is just not one that is going to stick with me, which is why it is a 3-star. It was fine. I enjoyed a lot of pieces of it, but the overall story just isn't something that I'm super going to remember long term, and I wasn't the biggest fan of the romance in this one. And then we have our winner of the video, which is Thistlemarsh, and very surprised. This is a soft 5-star. Already talked about it. I'm very excited about this, and I do kind of wish there was a second book, or at least another book in this world. I really like the setup of this. I'm really excited to see what else this author comes out with. So here is my order of things that I liked from favorite to least favorite, and it's pretty different compared to like what cover likes are. I would say This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me is my favorite. This is probably the order of like my covers that I like. So it's kind of sad. So like that's why I'm very torn about To Steal a Throne, because I really just don't like the cover, but the book was fine. I think I am gonna get rid of that book and just get a normal US edition of it if I decide to read the sequel. So it is sad that we're getting rid of Starside, because I actually really do like the cover of Starside, but at least we get to keep This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me and Thistle Marsh. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe to see any future content. If you're looking for more content, definitely check out my membership down below. All you have to do is click that join button to see all this extra content. If you made it this far into the video, leave a house emoji for Thistle Marsh, because it definitely is all about the house and how we're gonna fix it, etc. I feel like that's a pretty good emoji to end this video off on. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one.